What's going on, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages? Joker back again, once again, and today I have assumed direct control over the DTR podcast this week. Jay is off, well, doing something, probably in Florida, probably enjoying himself. So, if there's any technical difficulties in this episode, you can blame him, because I have no clue what I'm doing. Joining me this week is my co-host, a man of few words and endless math puns, somebody who needs no introduction, J-Ram. Say hello, J-Ram.
How's everybody doing tonight? Pretty good? Okay, then. I was expecting one of you two to say, "Oh, I'm doing well, thank you."
Well, I was expecting you to say hi, J-Ram.
I didn't want
Hi, J-Ram.
Hi, J-Ram. Our special guest this week is the one, the only, the guy I just met 2.5 seconds ago. Oh God, I've been saying your name all night, but I don't know it anymore. Ramez, or King Ramsey, as I like to call him. 05. How's it going, my dude?
It's going good. It's good to be back.
So, with that introduction kind of out of the way, I do have some production notes. You can find the DTR Podcast at Apple Podcast or Podbean and Google Play at Destiny Tracker Podcast. We record the show on Friday at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/Destiny Tracker. You can support the show by subscribing on Apple Podcast and leaving a review. Make sure to leave a review on Podbean, not Bean Pod, because I almost said that. Now, today we have a jam-packed show. Jay left a bit of an itinerary, which we will probably just deviate from because I have ADHD. And we're going to be talking about the leaks. We're going to be talking about faction rallies. We're going to be talking about Destiny. But more importantly, we're going to be talking about our special guest, first and foremost. So, King Ramses, I want you to look lovingly, longingly into that camera. I want you to caress the little stubble of a goatee that you have going on and with those sleepy eyes. I want you to tell us about yourself. What burns in your loins from day to day? What gets you out of bed to grind and become the greatest Twitch streamer like no one ever was?
My passion for video games and community is what gets me out of bed. You know, that's what it is.
Okay. J-Ram, off to you.
All right, so it's no surprise to anybody, especially those who've been following the show for a long time. Ramez, you've been probably, I don't think I'm wrong on this. You've been the most repeated guest we've ever had, and the reason for that is because of what you do in your real life, which is you stream, and you have this infectious attitude, this positivity that just rubs off on everybody. And what I wanted to know is, in the world of streaming, if we had some aspiring streamers out there that want to get into the game of streaming, could you offer any advice or things that you've learned along the way from the amount of years that you've been streaming that you can kind of give young ones or others some tips?
I mean, that part I said earlier wasn't recorded. God, that was a lot. That was a good rant. You can edit that out.
For people just watching, we're kind of re-recording the intro because we fucked up. I messed up, I should say. Not we as in them. They were perfect, wonderful guests. I just am technologically inept, apparently.
Well, 4 years streaming on Twitch. Lots of ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. Only the 0.001% have it perfect where everything just lines up. For everyone else, there's gonna be a lot of failure, some success, but mostly failure. But what's gonna make the difference is whether or not you get up from that failure, how you react to all the obstacles in the way of you trying to be successful, So appreciating what you have instead of focusing on the things that aren't working out is so important when it comes to streaming. The mindset is, I feel that Twitch is more about your mindset and less about your gameplay and production value, because people can see and feel your passion. And if you have it, it'll get noticed and people will be attracted to that and want to come back every single day. So as long as you're honest with your audience and yourself and you don't let failure discourage you, you will be successful no matter what.
And now you know why I said you have this infectious, positive attitude that just rubs off on people.
It's been tough, you know? It's like this last day, I had to take a day off because my head was in the wrong place. And the last thing you want to do as a streamer is stream like with a bad mindset. You know, you don't want to be a salty streamer. You don't want to have something bothering you like while you're trying to put on a show, because it will show. People can pick up on social cues and just your attitude and what you say, how you react. People can pick up on that, you know? And so like sometimes you just need to take a break, and it's okay. You're not failing yourself, you're not failing your community. You're doing the right thing by looking out for your own mental health. You know? So on the days to where you can't be positive, it's okay to step back and like try to find what can like brighten your day, you know?
All right, thank you very much. So, Ramez, you've been on the show multiple times. I think, what is this, like the 4th or 5th time?
Really?
Oh, dude,
wow.
You've been here a lot. Yeah. In fact, we love having you on the show because you offer a very interesting perspective. First and foremost, you got to be one of the most chillest people I've ever met.
Oh,
very laid back. When you talk about spreading positivity, and that's exactly what you said about 2 minutes ago, when the reason why you got into streaming, 100% agree. Like, I watch you sometimes, and you're very positive. You're helpful, nice to people. You interact well with the chat, which is, I think, one of the hardest things to do in streaming, is try to interact with chat, because you want to play the game and you want to give a good show and you want to be entertaining, but at the same time, you do not want the viewers to just kind of feel like they're not in the same room with you playing the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you do an excellent job at that. Could you, I guess in a way, and I'm kind of throwing this at you, if we have some aspiring streamers out there that really want to really, step up their game a little bit, what were some of the things that you've learned over the years of streaming that have kind of helped you become the streamer that you are today?
There will be a lot of frustration. There will be a lot of failure. It'll be tough. And it still is for me. Every day I find new problems and new hurdles to eventually get over. If you fail, it's okay. You know, if things aren't going right and 100% your way, it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just the nature of this business and industry, you know? You're putting yourself out there in front of an audience, and you're hoping you don't mess up. So just try your best and keep trying, and just put yourself in perspective. Put it in perspective. If you have an audience, just know that people are taking the time out of their day to watch you and be a part of your community, and just learn to appreciate that and not think about the negative, you know? It took me a very, very long time to just focus on the positive aspect of streaming and my channel, and I still have trouble doing that, but I'm getting better at it. And once you learn to just completely ignore all of the negative surrounding you and all those negative thoughts, you'll be much happier no matter how your channel is doing. And you can just focus on improving things that matter instead of just focusing on the things that don't.
Okay, so I guess we can just sum up that entire answer with just stay positive. It's okay to fail. And most importantly, treat everybody with respect, you'll get that back, and learn from the mistakes.
Staying positive is really, really tough for everyone. Even the biggest content creators have trouble staying positive sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Now, to transition into the Destiny talk, because we are a Destiny podcast, have you played the new Warmind expansion?
yes.
Okay, and what are your overall impressions of that so far?
Good. Good, I should say. Very good. Always room for improvement. Nothing's perfect. It's very good compared to the last one, for sure.
Like
What
my
in
first
particular
attempt at
did you
this
like?
podcast. Oh.
What in particular did you really connect with in the DLC?
What do I connect with? I mean, I love having that grind back. Reason to keep playing, you know? There's always something to do now. With the last DLC, there wasn't much to do once you, there was not that much to do. With this DLC, there is always something to do. It still suffers from a lot of the same problems, but the grind was a lot more satisfying. There's a lot more things to grind. So just having that grind back.
Have you tried Escalation Protocol yet?
Yes.
And
Yes,
have
I
you beaten it?
Yep. I have.
Nice. Did you get any sweet loot?
Last week I grinded for the sniper, and it's really neat. But I haven't tried it. I just wanted to have the sniper.
Yeah, it's like a poor man's Darcy. It's really good.
Apparently, it's better than the Darcy though, because it's not exotic and it has the same perks. So
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know, because it's not exotic, it doesn't take up one of those slots. But then again, in my opinion, there's not too many primary or secondary or whatever you want to call kinetic and energy exotics that really, grab me. Normally, I'm using the exotic in the heavy spot. I'm usually using the Darcy, or what's the other one I use? Sleeper Simulant, whatever it's called.
yeah,
I like that
that's
one a
my
lot.
jam lately. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's really good.
I love the prism effect that it has now.
That where it splits apart.
Yeah, you hit it, it bounces and goes. Pew!
Yeah, until it hits you and then you die. Which doesn't make any sense.
I was hearing that you can't ricochet it in a bubble anymore, though.
Oh, that's
really?
good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but like,
Well, is that because nobody uses bubble anymore?
no, I think it's because bubbles take damage, but I didn't think they take friendly fire damage.
Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's why the bubbles will, like, when you have the Titan bubble out, you'll see it start to decay and there'll be holes in it and whatnot. Bubbles always took damage, but it never affected them physically. So if you like hit a bubble with a Nova Bomb, it would burst, right? But as far as doing it is as part of the actual super with the in Destiny 2, it has like this decay state now. So it takes visible damage and deteriorates over time.
Oh, interesting. All right. So why don't we just transition into this week's question, which is what's the most fun you had in video games this week? So Joker, how about you go first, and then Ramez you second, and then I'll go last.
I'll tell you what the most fun I didn't have in video games this week was.
The most fun you didn't have. Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so got up. It was reset. Okay. And Joker's all happy because he sees that it's the tree branch strike, whatever. The one where you get the death from above hand cannon. And Joker and his best friend spent 12 hours grinding that strike. Nothing was dropping. We're like, man, this is kind of weird. Our luck is just shit. And then we read the next day that, it was broke. And strike
it's
broke.
bugged.
And that was the most fun I didn't have in video games this week.
Ramez, what about you?
Well, going back to that's got to be so upsetting. I'm sorry. That's got to be so bad.
I was like, man, my luck is shit this week. And then it's just like, no, it's just not dropping. I'm like, And then I started doing this podcast, and I'm like, okay, no, my luck actually is this shit this week. So, you got to have a little sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
That's why I got to...
Oh, Ramez, what is most fun you had in video games this week?
I guess helping my deaf friend finish a new raid. I suppose that would be it. Yeah.
All right, and for me, let's see. I played some Fortnite, and I played a lot of Destiny. And the most fun that I had this week would have to be, you know what? I'm gonna go with Destiny. I raided a couple days ago. It was a lot of fun. We had some new people that I've never played with in our clan. Kind of helped them through it. Made them understand, the mechanics and everything. It didn't take us long at all, which was great. I forget. I think we wiped. Yeah, we wiped once because I don't know if you guys know about this, but there is a little. I guess you want to call it a little glitch where when you finally get the callus. All right, and you know how you split up 3 people in the nightmare room, where he vomits up the skulls, and then 3 people in the throne room. When you are shooting the skulls, as soon as you start shooting the skulls, if you have one guardian in the throne room die, it like doubles the amount of skulls that come out for some reason. I don't know why.
I didn't. Know that.
Yeah.
You could actually exploit that. When you think about
it. we do, right? So we had one person. Like I said, he. I guess he jumped up on one of the little fire plates and caught on fire and died that way. And when we went to go res him, Callus threw a napalm bomb right on top of that. We couldn't get it, so we had to wipe. I was like, son of a bitch.
That's fun.
Yeah. When you have to wipe to a situation like that, you had a great run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't be mad about that.
No, not mad at all. So we respawned and knocked it out. We completely forgot, though, that this week is Callus Challenge.
Oh.
And somebody in the fire team needed it. So, I mean, we literally just spawned right back in, did our thing, crushed them in 3 plates. And I was like, oh, shit, wait. We forgot to do challenge. Actually, I didn't say that. Somebody else in the fire team did. And we just all started laughing. Okay. So that's why I had the most fun, because everybody was laughing. When you have that interaction where you're doing something for like the 50th time or 100th time, but you could still laugh within that realm,
yeah,
you're having a good time. So that was the best. That was the most fun I had this week in video games.
I think to talk back to kind of Destiny 1 thing. When we're looking at Destiny 1 and we're doing the raids and stuff, and like Vault of Glass or Crota's End and whatnot, we would basically, we were trained in those raids. Like, we could do those raids blind. So, like, taking new people through them was always fun because it was like, you're just laughing. Like, I would always, like, I'd be like, how do you think you do this? Whenever I took a new person through, like, Vault of Glass or something, I'd be like, how do you think we do this? And because they don't learn if you're just like, okay, guys, we're going to sit on the hill and we're gonna get our sleepers out, or we're gonna get our oh god, what was that sniper rifle? Icebreakers out, and we're gonna snipe the things from here, and just don't fuck up. Like, nobody learns that way. So you go in and you ask them, hey, how do you think you do this? And that was always really fun to do in Destiny 1. I think the raids in Destiny 2 are a little more complicated for that, but whenever you can have fun in them, it is a blast. So, going into that, we're talking about the latest Destiny news now. Now, there is a lot of stuff. Ooh. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the new expansion coming out? Gonna be streamed in a couple of days. We've got the announcement of an announcement that they're going to announce something coming up. Or I love that, dude. It's like they announced that they're going to announce something, and that they're going to announce the announcement of the announcement, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Got it.
When do I need to be on Twitch? And so we got that coming up. That looks like it's going to take place in the Reef, because that's the only purple foggy place that we know of, and the logo is a purple foggy thing of rings So we've got that coming up, and then we've also got this week in Bungie.
Let's make sure everybody knows. This reveal is going to be June 5th, which is this Tuesday, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So make sure you adjust your clocks for whatever time zone you live in.
Oh, I was listing off where we could go.
Oh, you could just go to twitch.tv/Bungie.
That's funny. The other thing that we got is faction rallies coming up. Oof. That's got some salt there because we have one New Monarchy. If you guys have not seen New Monarchy, I've got to iron out a horse or something here. I got to grind an axe.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. I got to grind an axe here. The New Monarchy logo, I don't know what was going on with that. Like the Dead Orbit one, the Dead Orbit one looks really cool. It's like a dragon, like circling
with a sword through its mouth.
The Traveler with a sword through its mouth. Yeah. And like Dead Orbit is fleeing Earth. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's Dead Orbit's whole shtick. Future War Cult is purple, white, and gold. I mean, purple, white, and gold just as a color scheme is always going to be good. And then you've got New Monarchy, and it looks like cheese conqueso with salsa in it on a bad Persian rug, and then they slap the New Monarchy logo on it. And I'm like,
yeah. Well, what? You know what? Not that I agree with you that it looks shitty. I think they all look pretty cool. I don't understand the theme of this one though. The Future War Cult and Dead Orbit, I get. This New Monarchy one, I just don't understand it. It looks like one of those prints that you would get on a shitty blanket.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a Persian rug. It looks like it wants to be a Persian rug, and then just kind of haphazardly. See, I actually like the design that's in the rug, but haphazardly slapped over to the side is like the New Monarchy symbol, and I'm like,
yeah. What's the theme of that? I don't know.
It's just got too much going on. I think they could have done something really cool with that, like maybe have the symbol that they wanted with maybe make the entire thing red, and then make this symbol yellow, or like the little design yellow. And then in the center of the design, because they have this thing kind of branching out from the center of the design, maybe in the center of that design have the New Monarchy logo and just make it bigger. I think that would have been better. But, this is what we got. On top of really cool designs and then really ugly designs, we got another really ugly design where the catalysts for exotic weapons are handed to different factions. And I completely don't agree with this. Because Graviton Lance is the killer app in PvP right now. Being the killer app in PvP right now means everybody is going to be questing after it, and that is the level 50 killer app for Dead Orbit. Future War Cult has the Sunshot, which the Sunshot is a fan favorite, but it's not really whose go-to gun is that?
Not mine.
Well, for me in PvE, it's my go-to gun.
Is it?
You know what? Yeah. It wrecks house in PvP.
Does it? Okay, I don't touch it. So,
yeah. I played a lot of Crucible Labs this week. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But the majority of the time I was getting killed by Graviton Lance.
Yeah, and Vigilant Swing.
So let's kind of go over. Let's give an overview of what the new faction rally, because this is new. I don't know.
That's where I was getting into.
For those who really don't go on Bungie.net or anything like that, Bungie.net every week Bungie puts out This Week at Bungie, and it has a wealth of information. This one in particular has a bunch. So I'm just gonna dive right in, and what I'll do is I'll just ask Ramez and Joker some questions based off of that. So first, pledging to a faction hat is now a meaningful choice, meaning that you can only pledge to one faction per account during the faction rallies. Ramez, what do you think about them kind of narrowing your choice down into just one faction?
Like you said, giving that choice meaning is good, but the problem with that is making each faction completely balanced, and everyone's going to gravitate towards Graviton Lance. No pun intended, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I was going over the
because of that.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, so I love it, but just need to make sure that every faction is just evenly balanced.
Yeah, I don't understand why they tied in the weapon catalyst into each faction. So For those that haven't looked at this week at Bungie, the Graviton Lance is the reward for Dead Orbit. Sweet Business is New Monarchy, and the weapon catalyst for Future War Called is the Sunshot. So personally, I would like the Sunshot. The Sunshot is one of those exotics that when the game initially launched, it felt exotic. It had a completely different sound, look, interaction with the enemy that none of the other weapons had. Now Graviton Lance has that flair to it when you get those precision kills and everything, and you see all the little void orbs come off and start killing other enemies. But I would like to go Sunshot, but I think you're right, Ramez. Dead Orbit's probably going to win in a landslide.
Yeah,
because of the catalyst.
Yeah,
so
unless
what do you think, man?
So yeah, when I was kind of introing the section, I was going over the catalyst, and I think that we actually kind of see a interesting split here. We could see an interesting split here because Sweet Business, if Sweet Business's catalyst is good, if Sweet Business say adds 50 more rounds to the magazine or something, if it's something stellar. Sweet Business is the DPS gun, is one of the big DPS guns for PvE, right? Where Graviton Lance is right now the current hotness. 2 weeks from now, it could get nerfed.
Let me ask you guys this question, because maybe I'm the only person on there thinking about this. But do you think, and this is just a question I'm going to ask, do you think Bungie got the catalyst and the exotic weapon ability backwards? And what I mean by that is this. How awesome would it have been if you had the Graviton Lance out, right? And let's say, for example, the catalyst was earned in strikes, in heroic strikes. So you kept, you kept doing heroic strikes because it's one of the milestone things. You're on your last one, you're shooting an enemy, maybe a Minotaur, and all of a sudden, boom, the catalyst pops up. And you're like, whoa, what is this? Now, this is under the assumption that the Graviton Lance hasn't changed. It was the original Graviton Lance. It still fired the same exact way with the 3 pulse, with the 3 pulse bullets, and then the 4th one that does that like little damage, that extra little damage. Then you got the catalyst, and it said do these things, and then after you did that, when you unlock the catalyst, that's when the gun changed to the 2-shot that we're familiar with now, and all the little orbs that come out on kills. In my mind, that would have been a better way to introduce catalyst, because right now I have some of the catalyst, and some of them are like for example, the Darcy, you just get higher stability. What the hell is that? I'm gonna be honest with you, I could care less about higher stability on a sniper rifle. I get it, I understand it, but it would have been cooler if when they revamped the exotics, the higher stability was the revamping of the exotic. You didn't know what the catalyst, or you didn't know what the gun actually did yet. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying. And in fact, to kind of even springboard off of what you were saying, I wish exotics were more like, because I think I knew catalyst would be kind of like some are like, oh hey, I want to get that, and some are like, I'm not gonna waste the time. Like full auto vigilant swing, done.
Yeah, like some of them are like increased reload speed, and that's the catalyst, and it's like that doesn't, to me, that doesn't sweeten the gun at all.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say Sunshot, when you get the catalyst, your explosions are huge now. Great, that would be cool. It just seems like
Dragonfly to the Firefly.
Yeah, it just seems like what they did.
Yeah.
Right. It just seems like what they did with this is they said, we're going to make the guns really awesome, and then we're just going to tweak them just a little bit for the catalyst.
Well, to kind of get back to what I was saying, is I've always liked the idea of you get this exotic, or you get this like white weapon, right, or a legendary weapon.
Introducing the Cholula Buttery Jack, made with delicious Cholula hot sauce, crispy jalapenos, and pepper jack cheese on a signature bun. Yep, this is my 3rd one today. The new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box.
And they did this with the Bray weapon that goes into the, the Polaris Lance, and they did it with the Adolan Ally, where you get this base weapon, and then that base weapon evolves over doing a quest, okay? I think the catalysts were were a great step in this kind of like idea of revamping exotics. I would like to see no more exotics launch day one. What I want to see is exotics that evolve with catalysts and use and quests over time.
You know, Joker, the Polaris Lance that we're talking about, that's exactly how I thought the catalysts were going to work. You build up a gun to where the very last thing it unlocks this really cool thing. So for those who aren't familiar with what the Polaris Lance, if you have the exotic version of it, if you land 4 headshots or 4 crit shots, they don't have to be in succession. You know, you can land 1 and then 3 bodies and another critical. I mean, it could do that. But on the 5th, if you land those 4 criticals on the 5th, that bullet that comes out, not only does it do damage, but it also explodes. So there's an area of effect type of round that it actually puts in the gun. That's how I thought these catalysts were going to work. That's how I thought Graviton Lance was going to work. They were to come out and say, okay, this gun, when you unlock the catalyst, it completely changes the way the gun reacts. Yeah, that's how I thought it was going to be.
Like with Eidolon Ally as well, back from Destiny 1. When you got it started out as this white weapon, Husk of the Pit. They revamped the quest in Age of Triumph to be a little different. But essentially, you'd get this white weapon. It would drop off a harder yellow bar health hive. And you would level it up to the Eidolon Ally. And the Eidolon Ally would have like some pretty okay stats. Like, for an auto rifle. And but then you would finish its quest, you'd get the Crux of Crota, you'd put the Crux of Crota in it, and suddenly now it's got, I think it had like slightly better stats, but then it made things explode, like thrall explosions. So like every time you killed something, and it was cool, and it felt really exotic. It felt like you earned that weapon. It felt like you went along with that weapon. And in fact, the flavor text on the weapon, I remember it was like, for the Eidolon Ally, is like, something like, it speaks to me, I think it's my friend. Okay. So it's like this weapon evolving with you as you use it. And I kind of like Pokemon, honestly. So you start with like your little Charmander, then you level it up and you get a Charmeleon. Yeah. I would love to see exotics do that.
Yeah,
I think that's
too.
Better. Oh. I think that's a better grind.
Okay, the issue with that though, like there are so many exotics, and with Destiny, people were always complaining that they felt weak and didn't feel powerful. If you give people underpowered versions of exotics right off the bat, they're going to feel even less powerful and maybe not want to like put in that grind for every single weapon.
Well, it'd be a legendary, so I would start out like a legendary or something. So you wouldn't have this like dissidence of it being an exotic but sucking.
Well, I mean, maybe do that for like one exotic, a couple exotics, like here and there. But to do it to all of them, I think have a really powerful version of the exotic and then make it even more powerful with the catalyst is what they were aiming for. But just some of them were just stat bonuses. Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah,
I could see that too. Yeah, no, I agree. I have a couple of them already cool, but then you gotta have ones where you build up to it. You know, the dichotomy that I'm thinking about here, not the wrong word, dichotomy is not a good word for this, for what I'm about to say, would be the comparison between the black hammer and black spindle.
Right.
You know, the hammer was cool, and then they brought out the spindle later on, which was badass. The only thing that made the hammer better was that it never took ammo from your reserve.
Until they changed it. Right. But yeah, I just wish I saw more stuff like that. It just seems like, you know, once again, we're just given everything up front. And in my honest opinion, I think if the Graviton Lance was the original Graviton Lance, and then when you got the Catalyst, it is now the gun that we know what it is today, Reddit, Twitter, that shit would explode. Because somebody would be like, holy shit, this gun has completely changed. And then everybody would be grinding their ass off to get that gun. Well, even for like content creation, which, I mean, we have to reconcile that content creators hold more power than I think developers want them to have. And, you know, if you got people making guides and stuff instead of talking shit about your game because they have something to do, that's, I mean, wow. You know, it is what it is.
We went there.
Hey, Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, because a lot of that, I mean, there's a lot of that happening.
It's a lot of frustration, I think, a lot, because like with my channel, right? I talk a lot of shit. I will fully admit, I point out a lot of flaws and I talk about a lot of flaws and I focus on it, but I want to be a lore channel. Well, if there was lore to cover, I'd be covering lore.
Right.
But I don't have that. So, moving kind of away from our wet dreams for exotics, I think to kind of rein it back in. So they have actually changed faction rallies, not just in the you can only pledge to one faction rally at a time, but we have things like reputation progress is retained throughout multiple events, which is cool. That's kind of how it always was. So I guess it's good to see them going back to that. I would rather to see them just personally, and we'll jump this off to everybody else. But if they're going to keep reputation through multiple events, I would rather just see them like allow you to be with the faction for as long as you want to be with the faction, like they did in Destiny 1.
So let me make sure I understand. You would rather just see the faction reps there all the time. Yeah,
like if I miss for whatever reason, I'm not there for a weekend or whatever, I can turn in my tokens. That's not victory week or whatever.
See, my thing is when I hear this about how the progress is retained through multiple events, and we know we're going to be grinding and working towards these catalysts or these special armor sets and everything. I wonder how high the ceiling is, or better yet, what are the levels that I have to achieve to get those things?
Well, it's level 50, and I think me and my buddy grinding Iron Banner for like 2 nights, if it's anything like the Iron Banner grind, we got to level 20 in 2 nights, and we lost like most of our games.
Wow.
Because we were against stacked teams, yeah. So I don't necessarily think it'll take a week to get to level 50 if you want to grind.
Were you playing on PC or PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Oh, don't play on PC, man. If you do, you better bring a towel. It's a sweat fest, dude.
Jeez.
Holy shit. Everybody's like amazing.
So I guess kind of getting off of that, factions will offer unique rewards, exotic ornaments, and masterwork catalysts. Now we've talked about the catalyst, but they've also got exotic rewards where like hunters will get a new version of the Knucklehead Radar, Titans will get a new version of the Crest of Alpha Lupi, and Warlocks will get a new version of the oh god, what was that one helmet that you got through the quest? Through the main story, the piece of armor.
Yeah, I forget.
The one with the like white snow globe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, so did they say
Eye of Another World?
Yeah, Eye of Another World. Okay. Dead Orbit gets Eye of Another World, and Graviton Lance Catalyst. New Monarchy gets a Crest of Alpha Lupi. So it seems like they're like, not only are they dividing up people by like, hey, you can only join one faction once, but oh yeah, by the way, if you main a Titan, well, you can only get this ornament here. If you main a Hunter, you can only get this ornament here. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, Ramez, you first.
Well, my question about the ornaments is firstly, since it's exotic, can you only use, if you're using that ornament, can you use another exotic? I wonder.
So, like 2 exotics in the armor slot?
Well, I mean, it's an ornament, so does that, I mean...
No, it just changes the look of your exotic armor.
Oh, it changes it to an exotic armor?
No, it changes the look of that exotic piece.
Oh.
Like, you know how you can get from Eververse, you can get the different the exotic skins for your armor pieces and your weapons? That's what this is.
Oh, I thought like the way it was worded, I thought it was like an exotic ornament for a legendary piece of gear, and it was like, oh, that's actually kind of interesting.
oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Unfortunately,
or
that's
like
not what it is.
Like Destiny 1 when I had my exotic ass towel.
Well, now I'm less interested in these ornaments then. Way less interested. So that will allow you to use, like, you have kind of, because, like, the exotics and ornaments are kind of like whatever. I mean, I feel like people aren't using these exotics to begin with.
check it out. Come on now, let's work.
So it's like,
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I mean, I'm not using any of these exotics, so it doesn't really matter for me, honestly. They're way more powerful exotics right now for each of the classes, like with the last update, so.
Yeah, I've been using, speaking of the last update, I've been using Lion Rampant a lot. Oh god, it's so good. Sorry.
How about Lunification boots for Warlock? Oh my god.
I haven't even tried them yet. I tried the sun bracers today.
Oh, that was supposed to be nice, but Rip Titan half shields, you do not need them at all whatsoever. They're just obsolete. They needed to actually do something because they're so obsolete now.
Yeah. All right.
So on top of the rewards changing, apparently there's only going to be 3 faction rallies over the course of season 3. So.
Well, how many? Isn't that like par for the course though?
Is that? I don't know. I see they put a number to it, and now I had to like think about it.
Yeah, now I have to think about like how many faction rallies there were.
But I mean, so I'm thinking about it. Like I grinded one weekend in Iron Banner. Though this is kind of where I'm going with it. I grinded, Saturday and Sunday in Iron Banner and got to rank 20. So I guess 3 would 3, because I grinded really hardcore. Would 3 be enough for the casual player to get to those things, or should they even be able? See, I'm
no
totally.
We don't know because we don't know what the floors are for each one of them.
I mean, I'm totally for casual players. Like, I'm sorry, it sounds really mean, but if you're not willing to put in the time and effort to go after one thing, like one weekend or whatever, then there should be things that are locked off to you, and that's not me being mean or anything. That's just me saying there should be aspirational stuff in the game.
Yeah, there has to be a balance. I agree.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying everything, mind you.
No, I know what you mean, though. I know, like you don't want to come off as sounding like the Destiny elitist, but at the same time, it's kind of like when things are given to you, you don't appreciate them as much, nor do you work as hard for them the next time.
Yep. And we lost. I mean, like the first time you saw somebody kill something with Fatebringer and it exploded, you're like, I want that gun.
Yeah, it was badass.
Or the first time you got melted in PvP by the Vex, you're like, I don't know what that is, but I want it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just we don't know how many tokens you have to turn in to get those rewards yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the way that the tokens are actually going to be given out or earned this time has completely changed.
Right.
So Ramez, are you familiar with how the faction rallies have changed now?
Kind of. If you want to refresh me on
I would love to refresh your.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
And
but go ahead and take it from the top.
Yeah, and for those people who haven't read anything yet, so here's what's happening. Faction rallies, they're going to offer a different gameplay experience, meaning that they now include this thing called the renown system. All right. So what you do is you pledge for a faction. And then when you go out and you start to earn tokens, there are different ways that you can do that. For example, let's say you complete a public event and you turn it heroic and you kill that high value target. You're going to get this thing called renown. And I guess what it's going to do, if I understand this correctly, is you'll see it off to the left-hand side of your screen. And maybe it might say like renown times 1. And what that means is that you've increased by 1 level, and we don't know how many tokens it's going to actually increase yet by, but you've increased your ability to gain tokens when you go into like a lost sector or something like that. The catch about this is that when you start to increase your renown, the gameplay is going to change. The health regen is going to be reduced. Enemy kills have a chance to drop health orbs. So if you know what I mean, you can't just run into a lost sector, go right for the high value target in there, kill him, go to the cache and get your loot. You're gonna have to be careful about this. It will stack up to 5 times, but the more renown stacks, the more the incoming damage is increased. So it's kind of like
see how much that is, because
me too.
I have to imagine they're not going to do it too insane, especially in like the EDZ or something like that, where you've got new players kind of.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it looks like, because one of the things that I've kind of it kind of just irks me, grinds my gears a little bit, is the fact that well, I still don't feel different from different environments. Meaning that if I go into the EDZ over where Devrim K is, that's one of the first things you do in the game, right? It still takes the same amount of bullets that I have in my gun to kill a Dreg when I started the game, and now that I'm like 2 or 379. Like, it still takes the same amount.
Yep.
You know, so I wonder how that's going to affect it. I wish there was a bigger gap in that, where you started to feel like a lot more powerful. Now, I realize if you have a hand cannon and you get a crit shot, it one shots almost anything. I get that, but like with a knight, I'm still using almost a clip in an auto rifle to kill him. I've been doing that since Destiny 2 dropped. You know, so I was expecting a little bit more of a I was expecting to feel a little bit more powerful, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'm interested to see, as your renown increases, the damage increases as well. What does that look like? Is it going to be like, if you're at ×5, then you get one shot? Or two shot? You know what I mean? I have no idea. But to kind of get this bus back on the road, the more renown you get, the more tokens you get. If you die, the renown resets, which means you're going to have to go out and maybe, you know, do a public event again, kill the high value target, and then you can start building up your renown again.
Okay, because I hadn't read everything there, I wanted to be surprised when you read something. So I kind of like that. I do think it's faction rallies with a couple more steps. I've been saying that a lot lately. This is X with a couple more steps. But yeah, I think basically going into the faction rallies, I do like the fact that they're changing it up, that they're like, okay, you can't just go to Nessus and like farm a bunch of chests or something. You know, you have to actually go in and compete. I will say, and I did see some kind of hesitation towards this on the forums and in my own Twitter feed. People are like, I don't necessarily know if I agree with the what is it? The dependence, I guess I would say, on lost sectors. I mean, I get it. Lost sectors are this thing that they thought would be really cool when they advertised them and when they created them that nobody uses, so they want to use them for faction rallies. But what's those rewards look like? Say, if I go get, and again, we don't know and we won't know until it comes out, but so I'm just postulating here. What do those rewards look like if, you know, I go and do a couple lost sectors, rank that up to like 3 or 5 or however high it can go, and then go do a nightfall? You know? Or a raid, or see, I think they need to bring in endgame content that already exists there, and they're not real. I'm not really seeing anything about that here. So,
well, are the tokens going to drop at all from other content besides lost sectors, or is it just lost sectors now?
I would be really pissed off if they didn't. Because who wants to grind the same lost sector over and over and over again?
Honestly, I'm reading this as fast as I can to answer your question, Ramez, and it says nothing about any other activities other than lost sectors.
Oh,
yeah. Renown is lost when players are defeated by enemies, so be careful when you're attempting to loot a lost sector with a high renown. It's just talking about lost sectors. Player who looted a lost sector with renown active received significantly more tokens than usual. So it's not even saying that you would get the renown buff in another activity. After pledging to faction, you may earn renown by completing public events or patrols or defeating high-value targets on destinations. So you can receive it through different ways, it seems, but utilizing it only seems to be from what they've stated in the update, and I need to be very clear on that because just in case it's different when it comes out. What they've stated in the update seems to be only lost sectors, and it does stack up to 5.
Okay, well, here, what they're doing is really clever with adding another layer of difficulty and challenge to lost sectors and making it rewarding to make it more difficult instead of just spamming the same one over and over again, or finding an exploit to just get the tokens to respawn over and over again.
Which we'll do anyways.
Yeah, but yeah, people will still do that. But here, unless they make the rewards for making it difficult way more rewarding, here's the thing: people day one are going to find which lost sector is the easiest, and then people are just going to spam that.
Yep,
So,
I agree. 100%.
So it's not really going to change much, sadly. Unless I feel like they might just have to.
Come on now, let's work. Come on now.
I think they've already said that they won't like limit the amount of times you can run a specific lost sector, but if I remember right, they did, didn't they?
They
Or did
put
they
a cooldown on it. It's like 2 times.
Did they revert those changes? I feel like they reverted those changes because people were complaining that they couldn't spam the same one over and over again.
Yeah,
Well-
I don't see anything in the TWAB about that.
I know that I could spam at least for the keys, right? I know you could spam the what's that lost sector that's by the by Rasputin's facility on Mars? You can spam that one. It's a little bit lengthy, but I mean, you just walk in. The boss actually has to come out of a doorway. Okay,
Yeah,
so he's not there. So he comes out of the doorway, and you can just spam grenade like he's dead before he gets out.
Yeah,
every time
it's right next door to where Braid Tech is.
Yeah, so that would probably be an easy one. And I was making that run when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get all these loot boxes, and then I just stopped caring. I was like, oh, I don't like this shader anymore. That's really what it was for me.
Well, there kind of is one cool thing, I guess, with this faction rally that we can kind of end on this note is whatever faction that you pledge with, on your back is going to be the on your back is going to be the icon of that actual faction. So, and it's I don't get this. It says, other players are going to be able to, or it says, what does it say? Renown displays a faction, which faction a guardian is pledged to, but only from a third-person view. But I wonder am I going to see who Ramez pledged to? Like if we're in the same
that's what
fire
it sounds
team?
like.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know what it is? It's one of those Halo effect things that they have now, which I think. What happened to the burning face, the burning skull?
Oh, I know.
Like
Dude,
that was the coolest shit ever. Now it's like a little Halo thing, and it just doesn't look cool.
I'm gonna say, to continue with New Monarchy just getting shit on. Is it just me, or does the New Monarchy Halo Renowned effect look like the worst casino in LA, or like in Vegas?
God.
You just don't want to go there. It's like it's got like the feathers kind of like coming to the center, and then the New Monarchy logo is blinking, where everybody else is just kind of like, yeah, we're Dead Orbit, we're Future War Cult. New Monarchy is like loud and proud to be the worst casino in Vegas.
Well, here's the thing. These are really obtrusive,
Yeah.
Like imagine seeing this in PvP. Aside from like knowing exactly who to teabag, like how obnoxious is it gonna be like seeing these bright flashing things on people's backs?
I hope that you just don't have Renowned in PvP. It sounds like you only have this when you have Renowned, but then it says when pledged to a thing, but only viewable. See, I don't know. If you have Renowned, is that when it comes up? Well, if you don't have Renowned in PvP, then it doesn't matter. But what I'm more worried about as far as PvP goes is, say I'm running around as my Titan, right? And I shoulder charge every 5 seconds because I'm so used to Titan skating from Destiny 1. That's kind of back, but it's not. I don't want that visual flare effect to lag in front of my face while I'm getting into a firefight, while I'm backing up or something.
I don't think it'll be in your face.
But you know what I mean. In some games,
I totally get what you're saying.
You'll get your arm or something. You'll catch it if you move weird. Anyways, so moving on from that, do we want to go ahead and move on from that, or yeah, one last thing?
Sure. Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, I just thought the New Monarchy one looked like the top of Venusaur.
Oh, it does. Oh God, I'm still working.
That's what I thought of.
I'm still working on that Pokemon Destiny video. So we got Crucible Labs this week. So for those of you who do not know, Crucible Labs is not a public test server, but it's kind of a public test server where you can go in and play game types that they have that they're testing internally. So that's generally what it is. It's not a sandbox testing server thing, which is what I think most people wanted it to be. Your take on it? Do you guys care about testing new game types before they're out, or what?
It seems like they're just trying to test fun, because what a game developer might see as fun, the average person may not see as fun. So it's like a fun simulator of sorts, you know?
I can see that. I can feel that, because we got, what was it? The one with the crests. Oh my god, I can never remember it. I hate it, but I can never remember it.
Supremacy?
Yeah, Supremacy. I do not like Supremacy. It's just Slayer with extra steps.
What, this Crucible Lab?
Well, no, I was talking about, so he was talking about how developers test fun, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense, because we got Supremacy, and Supremacy was kind of like, as far as the game type. But what do we think?
I hate Supremacy so much, man.
I know, dude. What do we think about the final countdown? I mean, showdown.
I like it. So for those for those not familiar or who didn't jump into Crucible Labs yet, basically this mode is it's 4 rounds, first person to 3 wins, and it's 3-minute rounds, and all it is team deathmatch for 3 minutes. Most kills wins that round. In the event that the game is tied after 2-2, that final mode is the final round is Final Showdown, where it's just elimination. There is a flag that spawns. That's it. So all they really did with this new game mode is they took Team Deathmatch, shrunk it down into 3-minute sections, and said,
with flipping
go
spawns.
For it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's all it is. Did I have fun with it? Yes. I mean, I played a lot of it this week because I really wanted to see, because I thought it was going to be sandbox changes and everything. To Bungie's credit, they never came out and said it was sandbox changes.
This is true.
But from a gamer's perspective, when you say we're doing a PTR, what does a gamer think of?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, other companies, when they do this, that is the thing they do in the public test in the public test realms, is they completely change the way the game is.
Here's the thing, and I don't mean to sound salty because I always sound salty. But being the natural born Naismith I am, they knew the scope and scale of this when they first announced it. And when they first announced it, they announced it like a public test realm. They knew it wasn't going to be a public test realm, so they allowed that hype and speculation to fester, and now it's kind of biting them in the ass.
You honestly think they knew that when they released it?
Yeah, oh god, dude. I mean, they just announced this like a couple of days ago, or like a couple of weeks ago. And so they knew the scope and scale of what the public test realm would be. They should have made it clear day one when they announced it, hey, this is only going to be for future game types. This is not going to this is not going to be testing sandbox changes. There will be none of that. Set expectations, be honest, and you won't have backlash.
But I thought I'm sorry, Ramez, go ahead. I interrupted you.
Well, here's the thing of like with how like test servers work. There's usually another app that you don't download. It's never on the existing app. So the fact that it was in the regular Destiny client kind of like made it obvious it wasn't going to be a public test server, you know?
Yeah, but that's what they called it.
Did they call it a public test server?
I am frantically looking back on different
twabs, because it's
different twabs. Yep, to see, you know, what they called it, because I could have swore it was a PTR.
Yeah, so could I, and I'm inclined to make that mistake. I'm inclined to make that mistake, but I don't think JRAM will, because he's a PC gamer and I'm a lonely console peasant with a really expensive PC that I don't use to play games. I do art and all this other nonsense. I was like, dude, I'm gonna make video games, so I want 3D renderer and all that other nonsense. But yeah, no.
Just being creative, nothing important.
Yeah, nothing important. No, if I put games on it, because we were talking about me downloading Destiny on PC to play with JRAM and whatnot, or The Division, and I'm like, yeah, I would never get work done. If I had a video game on my PC, I would never get work done. That's just the truth of it. Which is sad, because I want to play Division with JRAM.
Dude, it's fun.
I believe you. I just again, that ludonarrative dissidence bothers me, man.
Wait, what? What was that term again?
Ludonarrative dissidence. Okay, so
I completely forgot what that meant.
So, do you know what it's basically cognitive dissonance in a video game? What cognitive? Oh god, now we're getting into. Okay, so basically, ludonarrative dissonance is where I'm a dude shooting a guy in a beater and a hoodie with, an AR-15 for like 8 hours trying to melt his health. That just doesn't make sense mentally.
Yeah,
It creates a cognitive dissonance where it's like,
Okay.
what am I doing? But when I do it to a guy in power armor, for some reason it suddenly makes sense.
Yeah. That's one of the main problems I had with Division PvE.
Yeah, wait for me, world, wait for me. Wait for me, world, wait for me.
Honestly, that's why I couldn't get into it. I love the PvP, just not the PvE.
Yeah.
Yeah, that PvP is rough.
Is it?
Oh, dude, it's when you grind and then you get like one thing you want, you call in the helicopter, it comes down, your shit's on there.
Oh, no.
And then somebody comes from behind you, kills you, and then steals your stuff. And you're like, you know what? If I could find you, I would punch you in the face really hard. As hard as like,
you know that GIF? It's like the old Italian dude, and he's like crying. He's like, "That's me for you, J-Ram."
Oh,
whenever that happens to you.
That person used to be me all the time. I love that. I lived for ruining people's days in Division. I was terrible. I would help someone. I would help them like all the way through.
Oh no!
Get them to the helicopter, and I would murder them. It was hilarious.
Wait a second. You would help them, and then
oh yeah.
Dude, that is salty.
I love it. No, dude, I love it. That's probably what I would do. I'm gonna be honest. Oh man, like I'm that guy in World of Warcraft that like greed, or would need when it was like need or greed, just need. Yeah, I'm not a hunter, but I need those boots.
So that is so bad, dude.
I'm that guy. So while we have all this nice TWAB stuff, the one thing that they're talking about later on in the TWAB is they're tuning escalation protocol. So currently the values go up to 400 at wave 6 and 7. At wave 4 and 5, they're 385. At wave 1, 2, and 3, they're 370. They will be reevaluating the waves and changing them from 1 to 3, where they're 370, 4 to 5, they're 380, and 6 to 7, 385. Now, oh geez, I it's one of those things like I somewhat agree with this change. I understand why it happened, but we're gonna not like it in a month when everybody's max level and can just stomp escalation protocol. Like sometimes things need to be hard.
I hate content becoming easier. I hate it. It caters to the casual. Like I play with like a lot of random people, and a lot of the random people I run into are already 385. It's not like it's been, how long has it been? Like a month almost?
Oh dude, I'm not even 385, but I took like 2 weeks off, so.
Yeah, it's been like over 3 weeks. A lot of people I know who've been playing kind of casually are around 385. It was still a little challenging for like full groups with like 385s, like full 9 player groups to do it, and it was really fun and rewarding. I understand like the just random people who group up together and like click the thing. It's like, hey, I wonder what this is. Let's see if we can beat it. And then them getting destroyed. That must be like a terrible experience, and they don't know what to do because the game doesn't provide like an in-game LG or like matchmaking for it.
I know. Imagine if the horde mode for the game had like this hopper you could click on, like strikes in multiplayer, and you could get launched with at least 6 other people that are interested in doing this activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I heard they were tuning down the damage and everything, or not the damage, but the level. I instantly thought this is not a fix to escalation protocol itself. Like, in other words, this isn't fixing the fact that it was difficult to do. I think this is their way of avoiding the conversation of we don't have a way to get 9 people into an instance at once. So if we drop the level, then less people have to be in that party to do it.
Well, I mean, in Destiny 1, you could... I mean, this was loading into the raid, and you could do it on Venus, where you would load into the Venus instant, and you'd have 6 people. Yeah,
right.
I want... Is it that hard to change the value of how many people can load into an instant? Because, I mean, we already have a value within the game where you can load into 6 people on certain certain destination, 4 people in other destinations, or no, 6 people. You can go in with 6 people in multiplayer even now. So I wonder how much of a value change it actually is, and how much of it is they're sticking to their guns that you can only have 3 men in or women or robots in a destination.
It's so hard to tell, because like only recently have they been able to like remove weapons on the fly if like they find things are broken. That was like a huge step for them, like with them instantly removing Rat King once they found out it was broken.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they're still still needing to make so many improvements on their engine to be capable of that. I feel like this is a fix for all of those casuals they've been trying to please. And because there isn't an in-game LFG or any sort of like, it's not like Bungie, like, it's not like it says in the game manual or in the games, like, if you're having trouble like doing something, go to an official LFG website. There's nothing like that. Everything is just unofficial, And guided games is like, there's nothing for guided games for Escalation Protocol. Like,
do you think they've given up on guided games?
Well, no, they made they made some really cool looking rewards. I forget what it is. I think it's if you guide 5 raids, you get this really cool aura and emblem. It's really cool. I haven't done it yet, but it's really cool. When I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, what is that? It looks cooler than the raid thing. It looks cooler than my prestige aura," which I found a little insulting. But then again, if you're teaching randoms, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I would need something more than a cosmetic reward to teach randoms, but that's me being that guy.
Yeah. But I feel like this was also like in reaction to the narrative that people were like coming up with, that it was only streamers who could like do these awesome 9-player Escalation Protocol things, when that's not the case at all. It's
not
the case.
No, the bottleneck effect, the constraint that is preventing people from doing this is the fact that it is so damn hard to get 9 people in the same instance.
Yep.
I can tell you this though. I used an unofficial LFG. We happened to have 4 people from California. We actually had 4 separate people queuing at the same time, and we all got in miraculously. 4 different people. So we had 4 groups technically, like 1 above. It was crazy that it worked. But like, if Bungie just like made it more clear that like there are LFG things that you should use to like group up for this difficulty content, I think it'd be a lot better if like they wouldn't have to like take this step of like nerfing it,
Yeah, but I think one of the biggest problems with a lot of that is there's a simple fix that is on Bungie's side, and then there's the community fix, which is what we use to. And the simple fix on Bungie's side is just increase the number. That even if they just
but I don't think it's that simple.
Yeah,
let's really look at this. Why are we always having to separate our fire teams up into 6s, 3s, 4s? Like that is just beyond my comprehension. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand the theory behind it, the ideology. Like, why is Crucible 4 now when it used to be 6? Raids are 6, but the strikes are only 3. Patrols only 3. Like,
I can tell you the lore reason for that. It's stupid. There's actually a lore reason for that.
Yeah, but honestly though, like,
it's stupid,
and I appreciate that the lore reason behind that. But as somebody
it's stupid, dude.
Yeah, just as somebody who like does not dive into the lore as much as you do, I don't really care. I just don't want to break up my team. Like, I hate that.
Exactly. Like, I got in Halo, right? you could, I believe you could have 8 people in, and you just go into big team battle. Dude, I mean, like, and then I think big team battle was social, so you could actually have more than 8 people, and that was actually really fun to do if you had like 12 people in your party, and then like some of your team was on the other team, and they'd start griefing the other team.
Wait, what was the game mode for Destiny 1? What was it? Ground War? Remember that?
Combined Arms.
Yeah,
where you had the big team battle.
It was like 8v8, I think, right? When Destiny launched.
With
and
vehicles, right?
And stuff.
Yep, it had vehicles. You had and then they had to nerf the Cabal tank, because the Cabal tank was just way too good. And then they took it out because once they nerfed the Cabal tank, there was really no reason to play the game with the heavy tanks and stuff.
Yeah. No, I feel you. But overall, though, I mean, let's be honest. The most fun I've had so far is in the new raid and Escalation Protocol.
Yeah,
that Escalation Protocol.
Yeah.
It is so much fun to get 9 people in there, you know, organizing everything. People, you know, once you find that synergy between all 9 people, and, you know, you got a Titan that comes in and he does melting point and then boops him with the tractor cannon. Then everybody starts shooting, you know, as fast as they can, and, you know, then the Shriekers pop up and the Wizards pop up, and you get everybody on the same page. It is like beauty and destruction.
Well, I mean, you know, it kind of gets back to what I kind of talk about a lot is, geez, Bungie, how big of a problem must it be that people really want very effective ways to play your game? I mean, they actively want to play your game, so they will find community workarounds to do so, but damn it, if you couldn't just a little bit, come on! You know, I mean, how hard is that? I mean, not how hard is that, what kind of problem for a developer is that people actively want to play your game, but it's just so hard for them to do. Yeah, it's a great problem to have. Yeah. But it just, and I guess this is kind of what we're circling, if we want to, kind of gets into some news that came out in regards to some business dealings and an announcement Bungie just made. Now, do you want me to go ahead and read the announcement that they made about their new business opportunities, or do you want me to read the Game Informer article, which goes into a little more depth about these business opportunities?
Ramez, you pick. I know what happens. I've never heard this company before, so I don't know anything about it.
Well, I think the Game Informer article will have more on the actual company and stuff.
I like having the comparison of like the official PR spin and the actual like details of what's going on. I think it'd be a nice comparison to have.
Okay, there you go. Let me see if the Game Informer article actually references it. Okay, they have a link at least. So recently, NetEase, whatever, buys a minority stake in Bungie. So I always thought Bungie was not publicly traded, for one. I thought they were privately traded, which doesn't necessarily discount this, but, you know, it is what it is. So NetEase has purchased a minority stake in Bungie, giving the Chinese tech company a seat on Bungie's board of directors and a potential inroad for the developer to bring its games to China. According to a report from GameIndustry.biz, NetEase invested more than $100 million in the studio. A lot of money. That's a lot of money. When we think about money, remember Bungie, or Activision, invested $500 million in Bungie for the entirety, the 10-year lifespan of Destiny. Bungie posted about this on its own site, saying that it is part of a partnership that will help us explore new directions With their industry experience, they'll empower us to build new worlds and invite new players and old players to join those worlds. They'll help us support separate teams inside Bungie to bring our newest ambitions to life. So we kind of sit here and we're talking about limitations on the Tiger engine, or what we think are limitations on the Tiger engine, where it's like, Bungie, why didn't Bungie make Escalation Protocol a 6 to 9 man event? Why can't I go 6 to 9 men on, Mars or any of these other places? And we always kind of chalk that up to a limitation, but here they've kind of started to talk about how they've basically kind of moved on. I mean, they do have we'll continue to work to partner to foster our partnership with Activision and our global community and turn new players from all over the world into Guardians. Our commitment to that world is not diminished by this announcement. But when you have a management staff of a company and they're designing a game and you split their focus between the new game that they're trying to invent, the new partnership that they're trying to cultivate, is it just me, or has Bungie management, at least the top echelons, moved on from Destiny? And is that maybe why Destiny 2 has kind of turned out the way it is?
Well, I mean, they're still actively... We have the roadmap. Well, you said the top.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not a team working on Destiny content, but there's a difference between having your boss ride your ass to get something done and out and perfected, and your boss being distracted. I mean, anybody who's worked a job knows that they work harder when their store manager is in the store than when their store manager is not in the store. And anybody saying they don't is lying.
Well, the Chinese market is huge.
Oh, it's huge,
and
yeah.
So them wanting to put some focus on that is good for business, And if Activision does well, Bungie will have more money to do a lot of the things they want to do. So as long as it doesn't affect people at Bungie not working on Destiny stuff, it's a good thing.
I mean, some of the things that NetEase has published includes Blizzard's Overwatch, World of Warcraft, StarCraft licensing, Minecraft, and so these aren't small games at all.
Yeah. So they're basically they publish American games in
only publisher in China, basically.
The only one. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe they are the only publisher in China. Let's do a little exploratory research on this. NetEase Inc. Is a Chinese internet technology company providing online services catered towards content, community, communications, and commerce. Founded in 1997, the company is key pioneer for development of internet services in China. Okay, well, that. Anyways. It seems like they, revenue, in 2016, 38.179 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
And when you have no other competition.
I think that's the Chinese dollar, though. Yeah, that's the Chinese dollar. So, whatever that converts to. I'm totally ignorant of other currencies, and I will completely and honestly admit that. So if somebody wants to tweet that out in the chat. Okay, so somebody actually in the comments, because I'm trying to watch all of these, somebody said, Jason Schreier has recently speculated that Activision and Bungie may part ways, with Activision buying the rest of the Destiny IP out from the studio. That's a really good speculation, because that kind of seems what's going on with High Moon coming in and with Vicarious Visions coming in. Vicarious Visions designed the last DLC, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, why do we have 3 studios working on one game and a game that's coming out and it's reductive in a lot of senses? Could it be that Bungie... I don't like. Again, we're all in speculative spinfoil hat territory with this, so take it as it is. We don't know anything. But yeah, that sounds interesting, at least.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, we don't want to hear that. That's not what we want to hear coming out of Bungie.
I mean, I don't even know how to react to this. Number one, I have no idea what this even means for Destiny.
Right.
I don't think anybody does.
No, nobody does.
You know, I'm not going to speculate that, Bungie, you know, they're selling out. They're not going to do Destiny anymore. This is it. Maybe this is Bungie's way of getting rid of or moving away from Activision.
Yeah. But
you know what I mean?
Activision retains publishing rights to Destiny while Bungie retains creative rights to Destiny. If that makes any sense. So, like, Bungie couldn't publish another Destiny game. But, I mean, it is kind of weird because this is a China market company. I don't know of any games, and I could be wrong. I could be just not very well researched in the matter, and I will completely admit that. I don't know of any games that they've published in the West. So, I mean, and this seems to be Activision's Eastern publisher, if that makes any sense. Because, you know, they publish a bunch of the Blizzard games there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, all I want is a well-programmed, complete game where I'm not upset about decisions I make, or I'm not pissed off about something, that I can get on there and it works, and I can go with my friends and play the game, have fun, laugh, joke, you know,
exactly.
And create some cool memories. If this is part of the equation that we need, great. I have a feeling, though, the community is going to take this and run with it, and they're going to spin it just like the community does all the time.
Just like I kind of did, and I'll admit it, you know?
I don't know. We don't know anything about this. We have no idea what the contract looks like. So, you know, when I start seeing tweets about this and everything, I just sit there and I just start shaking my head. I'm like, you have no idea what the hell this means for anything.
No, that's fair. My only, and I said this at the top of this when we were talking about it, my only concern is that the top management has moved on to other projects.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Well, like, I mean, when we look at, let's say, like, the history of Halo, right? Halo 1. This is kind of a little tidbit. The Magnum, if I remember the story behind this right, they were playtesting it, and the Magnum was just okay, right? And then Jason Jones came down just one day and said, why not increase the Magnum's power? You know? Like the big coon, and that made Halo. Yeah. So I think having that management kind of down there in the trenches, or, you know, with the people programming the game, creates a different dichotomy between what would happen without them and what happens with them.
I don't think it's healthy to assume the worst, you know?
No, that's fair.
I think it's good to have, like, moderate expectations, you know? But I think what a lot of people, what content creators learned about Destiny 2 was to not put all your eggs in one basket.
Yep.
And I'm sure Activision learned the same thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
look at Call of Duty.
Them creating a variety of content would benefit them, you know, a lot. And so maybe allow them to be more comfortable putting out different Destiny content once, like, the dust settles with Destiny 2. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're working on Destiny 3, you know? Maybe the next game they'll work on will be better than Destiny.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I was like, well, you know, we're sitting here talking about Destiny because Destiny is kind of our podcast, but and how this affects Destiny. But yeah, I mean, whatever they put out could be way better than Destiny. It could be the next Halo, you know?
Yeah.
So there is two sides to the coin, and I do want to... I was taking the kind of Naismith side because I knew both of you would be way more positive than I could ever be. And I trusted that.
Honestly, Joker, I mean, I even do this in my own life. I prepare for the worst, and I hope for the best.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that has got me out of so many pickles in my life. You know, you prepare for the worst case scenario. Let's say you're starting a new career, or you're moving to a new city. make sure you got enough money saved up that you can last for 6 months.
Yep.
Until you can find something. People just go, and I'm like, how can you do that? Like,
Yep.
and I know my wife is like that. Love her to death. She flies by the seat of her pants. Me, I'm the planner. I need to know what I'm doing every single day. Dude, I eat the same lunch every day. I'm boring as hell. I have a routine.
You go to Chick-fil-A every day? That's what I do.
No, normally it's just like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
If I go out and eat lunch, it's usually like a walk down to Chick-fil-A for like a $3 sandwich or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I guess with this decision and them announcing the new partnership and everything, I'm preparing for the worst and I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, same here.
And I guarantee you we will land somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
We're not going to get the most amazing thing ever, and I don't think we're going to get something where we completely turn our back and walk away. It'll be in the middle somewhere. The question becomes, what does that middle look like?
That's fair. That's fair. So we are hitting a little late here. Do we want to go into the leaks, or do we want to save that for another day?
Let's touch upon it, and then we'll expand upon it next week. How about that?
Okay. Well, so
because we're gonna know everything. We're gonna know everything on Tuesday.
True. Okay. So I think this would be a great primer then for it. So we'll talk about what was reported. I'm very partial to these leaks because they're reporting something that I have been talking about for 8 months. I saw these leaks and I went.
I have no idea what these leaks are. So
okay. So as reported by Forbes, so you know it's credible. Now even the Forbes guy's like, I'm sick of leaks. The rumored leak for Destiny 2's fall expansion is Summoning of the Nine.
Ooh,
the Nine. With a new enemy race.
Finally.
So, the bullet points, if I scroll down, is the story revolves around Aldrin resurfacing with an army of fallen soldiers to rescue his sister from the Nine. I wonder who's been touting this theory since, the Trials of the Nine went live.
Yeah, you definitely have been.
The Nine are forced to unleash the Nasareth to stop Aldrin's army of brand new, and this is a brand new enemy race. The Nasareth are led by Nezarec, the main antagonist of the expansion beside Aldrin. Nezarec is the former 10th member of the Nine, who was banished for betraying his brethren. The expansion's new raid is called Tomb of Eternity, and it revolves around stopping the Nezarec for good. The Nine are met during the expansion's campaign and help you stop Nezarec. 10 story missions, 4 strikes, 2 new destinations, the Reef and the Void. Brand new cooperative activity known as the Court. Details are scarce at the moment, but it's a brand new PvE activity to the Destiny series.
Huh. I'm pumped. I mean, it's new stuff. Come on, how can you not be excited?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're going to be excited, like, at least tentatively when they're showing off everything. Like, let's be honest, we all get that way. Like, I'm going to see, like, new stuff, and I'm going to like, oh, and then I actually get to it, and I'm going to bitch about it. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm waiting for all your Destiny retconning videos.
Oh, my God.
But that being said, I mean, how can you not be excited about this? Granted, it's a leak, so we got to, take it with a grain of salt, and I hear a lot of content creators saying that, but I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to point the finger at a lot of these content creators, and they know who they are. These leaks have been more right than they have been. Ramez, you're not one of them, so don't worry about it.
I say nothing.
I detest. Good sir, if this leak is proper and true, then I have been right for 8 months.
That is a lot of info there. A lot of info, a lot of name dropping. Would be very difficult to just make up a lot of that stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, I saw some really good leaks during Warmind.
Really?
I mean, like for example, when Warmind leaked, it was leaked as the God of, what was it? God of Mars?
Yeah, there's like gods of Mars and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's really be honest here, okay? That could have been the name, and then once it leaked, they changed it to Warmind.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that could have been the name.
Follow their strategy where you at least have 3 syllables that you could abbreviate.
Ooh, interesting. Never thought of that.
Yeah. Because we have like
Eater of Worlds,
Eater
Curse of
Worlds.
Osiris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gods of Mars. And they could have just changed it at the last minute, which is totally possible. That's not hard to do. It's not like you're programming anything for that. And, you know, I mean, when you really think about what did we do, what was the very last thing we did in that expansion story-wise?
We killed a god on Mars.
Yeah, and he was on Mars. So I can't wait when it says, okay, the expansion's new, or I'm sorry, it's what's the new name of this again?
They said it is Summoning of the Nine.
Yeah, Summoning of the Nine. And then they change it to something. Everyone's gonna go, oh, you see, they were wrong. That's not even the name. Meanwhile, everything else lines up. It's like, you know, you people need to really start putting things into perspective.
Oh yeah,
So
I think
this is 100% correct.
Oh yeah, I think we've been leading to. I mean, they put Aldrin's ship in a place where it doesn't need to be, according to lore. But yeah, so I think that's a great place to end this episode. Unless you have anything else, you guys have anything else you want to add to that?
Ramez, you first, if you do.
I'm excited if that leak is true. I'm super excited. I mean, keep my expectations low, but you know.
Let me ask you this question: with this fall update, what would you like to see changed? Because you've been streaming a lot of Monster Hunter recently. You like that game. My wife rage quit. She hasn't picked it up since.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you're very good at it.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, what would get you back to maybe a 50-50 split of Destiny 2 and Monster Hunter?
Oh god, it's really difficult because I've made comments about this before, but it's really simple for me. My favorite content has always been the raid, you know? And the raid is the least rewarding thing in Warmind, you know? You have an armor set that's a reskinned version of the last armor set. You have 2 weapons, and you have an emote. That's it for the raid. That's it. Once you have those things, you're done. There's no reason to do the raid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
More like what they did for the Vanguard with all of that reputation stuff, where you can earn specific rewards depending on your level with the Vanguard. That needs to happen for raids. That needs to happen. And I feel like they're going to do it eventually. It's the obvious direction that they're aiming for. With like, they have it for Vanguard, they have it for Crucible. Next is raids. People have all these tokens with nothing to do. It's the obvious step. Who knows? We might get it. We might get that before the fall update. But they really need to make more like incentive for doing that end game content. You know?
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I couldn't agree with you more. The idea of the raid layers, I thought was a pretty good idea. I wish each layer itself was more involved. That being said, I thought the major mistake was taking all of the loot that you could earn and spreading it out over 3.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that. And my argument is year one D1, you got Vault of Glass, all weapons gear. Crota, all weapons gear. House of Wolves, even though it wasn't a raid, you still had all new weapons and gear.
Yeah, when they kind of changed the way that they did vendors, where it's like, okay, instead of doing a total new gear set, you get ornaments for that gear set, or you get like 3 or 4 new weapons. I kind of got it, because like when a vendor reset happened, there was only 1 or 2 good weapons that a vendor had anyways, so why make a ton of trash, essentially? But like with the raids, like, come on, man.
They got the right idea. Like, they did a thing to where there are 3 different emblems you could earn. You know, that was really cool. But like, it gave people incentive to do the raids a little more to get those unique emblems. But like, why not do that for like the other things that like, you know, matter more and affect like the content more drastically, like the armor and weapons? We have like different armor set or different weapon set that drop, not just different emblems.
I want to believe that the reason why that stuff hasn't come into play yet is because all that is coming in September. Like, they realized, holy shit, we kind of screwed this up. People are still playing. Hey, when you still have people bitching and arguing about this, they're still passionate about the game.
Yep.
They haven't walked away yet.
Yep.
You know, like when people, and I know it's such a cliche thing to say, and maybe it's just people trolling, but when one of them, somebody from Bungie comes out and they put a tweet, and the first one is, this game is shit. I think deep down inside, that person still wants the game to be amazing. They're just really frustrated, and they're working off of pure emotion.
Yep.
You know? So I want to believe, Ramez, that all that stuff that you outlined is going to be in September. They just needed more time to actually do that.
I think that stuff might come as soon as July when they give us prestige raids, because we still don't know what they're doing with that. So maybe we'll get like a revamp of the raid system.
Yeah, I hope you're right, man.
Yeah, because the fact that we haven't had prestige raids for how long? Like this entire year? It's like, what? What are they doing?
World of Eaters.
Well, do you remember when they said? Do you remember when they talked about they're gonna have locked loadouts?
Oh God.
If that is their idea of a prestige raid, I'm just not going to do it. That is not going to be fun.
Well, I don't want you. That.
Yeah, well, I don't want you to tell me how to play the game.
Yup.
Let me play it the way I want to play it.
Because I'll just let somebody load the raid, right? We'll wipe whatever, and then I'll go to orbit, change my loadout, and come back.
Yeah. Exactly.
That you're just adding difficulty with more steps.
That's something they addressed when Destiny 2 came out. They promised they wouldn't make raids like that. And so when they announced that was their idea for Prestige, it was like, that's a terrible idea, everyone said. So
do you think that's why we haven't gotten, like, Eater of Worlds is like, that was what was on the table, that's what they designed, and then, like, people are like, no. In fact, you can take that and you can go fuck yourself with it. It was basically, that was basically the response to that. You know, so do you think that's why it's taken us so long to get Eater? I mean, Eater of Worlds came out, forever ago.
Yeah, it did. It came out Curse of Osiris.
Yep.
Yeah, that was in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You know, once again, this is a situation where I'm preparing for the worst. Nothing's going to change. I'm hoping for the best.
Yep. That's fair, and I think that's basically everybody who's still who would like tune into this podcast or who would watch one of my videos or tune into the stream when you're streaming Destiny. I think that's where a lot of people are. We're like frustrated. We want Destiny to get better because we're passionate about it. You know, we're hoping for the best with this fall release. I honestly am. You know, I heard like the Queen, you know, is held captive by the Nine, and I'm like, yes. I want to see that story. Don't fuck it up. And you know, I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that it's worth it. You know, I'm hoping that when we finally get the Destiny that we deserve, it's been worth the wait, and that it won't be lost in a sea of Division 2, Anthem 1, Borderlands 3. You know, because this fall is going to be stacked.
I watched that new trailer. Or that little mini trailer that Anthem released, and holy shit, does that look fun?
Yeah, I mean,
you say the Destiny we deserve, though. Maybe this is the Destiny we deserve. You know, like looking back at D1, like at all the complaints everyone had about D1. You know, we didn't know how good we had it until we got D2. You know. So much complaining from day one, you know, and now we wish we had that back.
I don't agree with that mentality. I've seen MTash make videos similar to that, and I think he's wrong when he says it as well. I think there is what the community wants, and the community generally does a fairly decent way of outlining what they want, especially people like Triple Rec and whatnot. And I think there's a difference between what the community wants, what Bungie hears, and what Bungie can implement. And I say can implement, not will implement. I think if they could do what we wanted, they would. But I do think that there is a limitation based on their engine. Look at the Crucible Labs. And again, that's an expectation thing, right? Where we have this one expectation where it's like, oh, you said it's a public test realm, or you hinted that it's a public test realm, or you didn't even just disqualify what people were going to assume. When you brought this forth, especially with a huge crowd of PC players joining the Destiny ranks. When they hear something like that, they automatically assume like a public test realm. So there is a communication gaffe with that situation. I think that if Bungie could do what the community wanted, or could take that feedback and actualize it, they would. Now, I don't know if it's just that they're not listening to the right things, or if they can't do it, but I don't necessarily agree that this is streamers and YouTubers and Redditors' fault.
I think it's everyone's fault combined.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. I think the community wanted so much change from something that was pretty good, and Bungie wanted to capitalize on the casual market. I think there's plenty of fault to be handed around, and didn't help that there are just so many awesome games out there to play now. There's so many things went wrong for them, and so many things went right for everyone else.
Yeah, I think that is fair. That Destiny.
Yeah, wait for me, world, wait for me. Wait for me, world, wait for me.
One kind of launched in a universe where it was its own thing, but the Destiny 2 Fall expansion especially is launching. Destiny 1 had Fortnite that it had to kind of compete with later in its life, and wasn't there Monster Hunter? There was Monster Hunter, and then there was, I can't remember when Fallout came
Destiny
out.
2 or Destiny 1?
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2? Oh yeah. Fortnite, Monster Hunter, Overwatch.
Yeah.
With Overwatch becoming popular, everyone started playing Overwatch again. Just so many amazing games to play.
So I will say, Destiny 2, when it initially launched, did have a lot of competition, but it was like sideways competition, where if you liked PvP, you went here. If you liked kind of loot-based games, you went here. But with why is my phone ringing? Sorry. With Destiny 2's Fall expansion, we're seeing a lot of games in that same exact space that Destiny exists in.
Well, Anthem's going to be in 2019, right?
I don't know. Is it going to be in 2019, or is it going to be... even if it's just the beginning of 2019, like, say, in the first quarter, Q1, that's still in the same space as the Fall expansion, unless they have something in December. Because that's when the marketing starts happening, and the hype train starts being pushed, and then we've got whatever this new Fallout game is, and Bethesda generally doesn't announce games before they're ready to launch them. Don't
forget Red Dead.
Red Dead, there's just so much. So I think Destiny, the Fall expansion, definitely needs to hit it out of the park. It doesn't have the luxury of games that are kind of like this, but not really. Where people are like, I still want to play Destiny, but I guess I'll play Overwatch for now until it gets better. Now they have alternatives. Anyways, with that, I guess, sorry for that's a negative note, but I just want to see this game get better. I want to see them...
Everybody does.
It is getting better, though. It is.
Yeah, it is. I agree with Ramez. It is. It's just, we want it to be better faster.
Yeah. We're impatient. It's like Destiny 2 should have been good out the gate. We were there at year 3. At the end of year 3 was like everything was supposed to be bigger and better. And then it wasn't. And we're like, aw. But in closing... oh, wait. Go ahead.
If you look at what Destiny 2 was at launch and look at what it is now, it's night and day difference, though. So it's going in such a good direction. Just baby steps, and eventually it'll add up to a game that we won't be able to put down.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That's my hope for the best scenario. but you still can't let up on them, because the second you let up on them, now is not the time to, like Bife said, now is not the time to let up on it. Even though things are getting better, we need to keep going at it until things are good. So, with that, in final closing, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Where can you be found, my dude?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Ramez05.
And JRam, where can we find you?
Oh, that's easy. J_Rambo9119 on Twitter.
Okay, and I am DSR_Joker on the Twitternet and Darkside Royalty Lore on the YouTubes. With that, good night and goodbye.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye.